Hi, this is Taryll Jackson, and you're hanging out with grownfolksmusic.com.
Grown Folks Nation. Today we have a guest. He's probably best known for being in a platinum-selling group and a teen heartthrob, just like his father. And you may have seen him a little bit on reality TV, but now he has a new solo album coming out, and we're going to talk about that and more. Taryll Jackson, welcome to grownfolksmusic.com.
Thank you very much. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Right off the bat, I'm going to ask you our trademark question. What is your definition of grown folks music?
Grown folks music. I think it changes from generation to generation, I guess, right? When I was younger, grown folks music was, I guess, music that my parents would listen to. Really good music. And now that I'm older, I guess my kids make it very aware for me that I'm listening to grown folks music. But yeah, I think it's just, I think it evolves, and I think, I don't know, it's a weird thing. I think every person, as they get older, they appreciate the generation of the music in the generation that they came up with, and it's kind of, I always ask that, I talk about that with my friends. I wonder if our parents said the same thing about our music that we're saying about our kids' music, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So it changes, but music is music, and it's all expression and art and opinion, so I guess we have to accept it all, right?
Yes, or you could develop your own playlist and tune some of that other stuff.
Yes,
it just depends.
Yes, you do, but I guess there's music that everybody listens to. It may not be for you, and you create your own playlist, but I guess there's a place for something, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, there's a place for everything. I'd agree. Crazy Love is the name of the new album coming out this month. The new single is Without Your Love. Take us through some of the tracks and tell us the vibe and the intention of the album.
Oh, boy. Well, I've been writing and making music ever since I was a little boy, like watching my uncles and aunts perform and being inspired by them and other great artists. So it's just something that I've always done. Even with 3T and on the side, producing and writing has always been a big love for me. So I've released a few EPs in the past, but this was a little bit of different approach for me because I felt, whereas the EPs, I released them and didn't really do anything beyond that as far as, performing or doing videos or anything like that. So with this one, I felt it was time and in the right. I think I've grown, and I've grown into a place in my life where I appreciate things differently and accept things, and I think it's just time for me to make that next step, whether there's fear or not. I'm just going to do what I've always wanted to do, and whether it's accepted or however it turns out, I think I'll be happy, and knowing that I tried. So I'm really excited. It's a little bit. It's a lot. It's a lot because I write, I produce, I sing, I mix, I engineer it all. So I'm wearing a lot of hats, and it's a lot of stuff to do for one person. But that's what, I don't know. I guess that's what I love about it. Just the whole creative journey.
I believe it was last year or so that someone challenged you to complete a song in a certain amount of time. Did that help light the fire to do a full-length album?
I'm not sure what challenge you're talking about, but I have challenged myself in the past. There was a point in my life where I think it was around 1999, actually, about 20 years ago almost, where I challenged myself to do 10 songs in 10 days and to do them from scratch, meaning not something that I've recorded in the past. Just every day I would write a new song, record a new song, and just finish it. And however it turned out, it was just that challenge. And it helped me a lot, to just keep in the creative flow of things, because often I notice with myself, it's like I can work on a song for months and months and months, and it'll never be finished. But with this, I think I pretty much put a time limit on things for me for like basically 3 to 4 days per song, and that was it. It's like I wrote it, I sang it, I would mix it, and then that would be it, and I put it away. For the majority of the songs, there are a couple of songs that I've recorded in the past.
I'm referring to, I think you titled the song maybe Starting Over Again, something like that.
Oh,
Starting that song again. That you had posted on your social media last year, and you finished it in a short amount of time after humming it and writing it and singing it and putting it out. That's the song I'm talking about.
Okay, it could be. Yeah, that was probably one. I forget how some of these are written and how I come up with some of them and how long they take. But yeah, that was something I released, and that's not on this album. That was something I have so many. I get pulled in so many different directions, and it's a blessing and a curse. I grew up in this family, and I was exposed to so much music. They played me everything from Marvin Gaye, all the great Motown stuff, to the Beatles, to Elton John, to the Bee Gees. So I have a wide appreciation for music, and I felt myself in a position while doing this, before starting this album, of not really knowing what I wanted to do. Did I want to do EDM style? Did I want to do pop? Did I want to do R&B? I didn't know what I wanted to do. I was going so many directions. So what I did was I just said, forget the labels of what kind of music it is, and just do whatever feels good. So that's the kind of direction I went in, whatever felt good for me. So I guess I'd call it my feel-good music. Whatever felt right, whatever felt good, that's what I went with.
How is your solo music different from 3T's music? Or is it?
I think, there is difference between 3T and Taryll. I think there's a lot of similarities at the same time, because I did a lot of the production and the writing for 3T and singing, the backgrounds and leads and things. So there's a lot of similarities, obviously, because I'm the same person. But style, I would say, with 3T, there's 3 of us, so it's all different opinions and all different, influences, and we try to, that's what makes our sound. With the Taryll stuff, it's just basically me, and I get to record and get to express myself the way I would want to express myself.
You're set to do your first solo performance in June.
Yes.
Will it feel strange? Will it feel strange to you to look to the right and to the left and not see your brothers coming up to do their parts? Are you nervous at all?
Yes, I am, and it will feel strange. But I know that it's not the end of 3T. I know we're brothers first, and we're always going to be together, and there's going to be many shows that we do. But I felt it was time for me to do something that was challenging for myself. And, I'm nervous, and there's a little bit of fear in there, but it's something I want to do, and I'll never know what it's like unless I try. So I'm looking forward to it, and it's going to be different. It's going to be different, but I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And I'm going to get to perform the music that I've been working on over all these years, and just express myself as an artist.
You put out a call for, I think you put out a poll or a questionnaire about what the fans would like to see on the set list. Since I have you on the phone, I'd like to submit You Girl. So moving on from that, I'm just gonna put that in out there that I'd like to see. I won't get to come to the show, but I'd like to see it make the set list. I know the European fans have, they embraced you immediately and they continue to hold you down all of this time. So it makes sense to perform there first. But I'm just asking for a friend, me, if you will consider blessing the fans here in the States with some intimate performances of your music.
Yes, I wanna perform wherever they want me, So I plan on performing in America. I plan on performing in Australia, in Spain, anywhere. I love creating music, and I want to perform and share my music with those that want to listen and have that experience with me. So I'm open to anything and everything.
Well, hopefully you'll put Atlanta on the list.
Atlanta, okay.
Atlanta, yes. At Grown Folks Music, we like to talk about bridging the gap. You started in this business as a young artist, and as I mentioned earlier, even a teen idol. Your fans have remained loyal over the years, but were there challenges, creatively or otherwise, to bridging the gap as you matured, both as a man and as an artist, as you got older?
I think just things change in life. You experience things. I'm a father now, so I'm a family man, and your priorities change. It's life. So I think the key for me is just being true to myself and to continue to grow and just be real with myself and real with the people that are listening to my music and enjoying it, and just take them along, with the journey, and just keep sharing. As far as sound, it's like I told you before. There was a time where I didn't know. It's a weird thing because you want to stay current and young and hip and all that, but at the same time, you're older. You're quote unquote grown folk music. So that's what I was like. I just want to do what's in my heart, and I listen to current modern music, whatever you want to call it, but I take elements from things that inspire me, and I just create my own sound with that.
When you started, the label model ruled the industry. Now you're an independent artist. You talked about it before. You're doing a lot of you're wearing all the hats. Talk about the pros and cons of being an artist in both those worlds, coming from a label where a lot of things were done for you, and now you doing it all as an independent artist.
Well, the industry is it's completely different now than how it was when I was working with my brothers doing 3T. There's pros and cons both. I can make arguments on both sides. Personally, right now, I prefer, and I think any artist, prefers to have control of their music and control of when they release and how they release and what songs and expression, because we're artists, and we want to be able to express ourselves the way we want to. And I think now with this digital era and with this new model, you're able to do these things. You're able to communicate with someone from Japan or, someone from Brazil and India and all these other places that without, maybe 30 years ago, there'd be no connection without having a major label behind you. So that's the beauty in today's world, is that you can connect with people all over the world, and you upload your song and it's available for anyone and everyone. So I love that about it, and I can put music out whenever I want.
Also, do you think that the technology has enabled you to really engage with the fans? I noticed, back in the Brotherhood album, you guys were probably at the forefront by having an email address for your fan mail, which was, even more accessible than the written letter. But now you have social media accounts and websites where people can follow you.
Yes.
Do you feel that that's what helped you just kind of stay connected?
Yeah, I think that's
you,
one of the
the
most
fans?
important things is to stay connected with your audience and with your fans, and just to share your journey and get instant feedback from them.
Mm-hmm.
So that's beauty in social media. There's pros and cons, like everything else, but having that connection is really important, and I love it. I love being able to tell my audience or whoever that I'm uploading music and get instant feedback and hear from them, because that's who I do it for. I'm not going to live forever, and I hope I make people happy, and my music just inspires someone to create something or helps them get through a hard time.
As I talked about earlier, you started on a label, but not just any label. Your Uncle Michael was an incredible performer.
Right.
He was also a businessman and a visionary. What was his vision for MJJ Music and his expectations for the artists he signed to it, not just as your uncle, but as the executive whose name was on the label?
Mm-hmm. Well, my brothers and I, we originally were signed to Sony Records. We were signed to Epic Records, which was a division of Sony. So we weren't signed to MJJ Music in the beginning. It wasn't till the first release off of MJJ Music was Free Willy soundtrack that Jerry Greenberg was putting together, and his nephew Ken Commissar was our A&R, and Jerry heard what we were working on and really liked our song. And that's how Didn't Mean to Hurt You ended up on the Free Willy soundtrack. And then eventually it led to him asking us if we'd be a part of MJJ Music, and be released through our uncle's label. And we talked to our uncle about it, and he was fine with it. He didn't want it to ruin our relationship or anything, as family. And we were happy to be under his wings and to help him and to get the label going, and that's what happened. The problem with that whole situation was when, I think around 1999, when Sony and my uncle were they were going through their issues. We were my brothers and I, we were stuck in the middle. Our uncle wanted to let us be free and to continue our career. But like I said, we were originally signed to Sony. So that's why we weren't able to be released, because they had control of us, not MJJ Music. And that's where the problem started.
Talking about 3T, you guys were young when you put the first album together, but you had two grown folks certified songs on that album that I'd like to talk about because they're my faves.
Oh.
And one is Sexual Attention, and two is Tease Me. I know a little bit about one of the writers of Sexual Attention, but tell me how those songs came to be, how you chose them for the album.
Well, Sexual Attention was that was written by a producer named Damon Thomas, who went on to be one half of the Underdogs production team, and Robin Thicke was the other writer. So we took a meeting with Damon, and he played us some music, and we just liked the song. So after talking to Damon and meeting with Robin and everything, we just recorded it one day, and that's basically how that song came on into the fold. And then with Tease Me, that was a track that was submitted by Gerald B. And I don't know the vibe of the track. I just wrote the top line to it, and that's just the vibe. That's what came out.
Tease Me, in my opinion, is such a perfect R&B, 90s R&B slow jam. It really is.
Really?
It has, yes, it's got the formula. It has melody, it has harmony, it has a lot of bass, it has sensuality, it has TJ's ad-libs are everything, and it has a thunderstorm.
Right.
I mean, it has everything that a 90s R&B slow jam should have, and I wish that it were played more.
Yeah. Well, that's a whole nother story.
Yeah. Yeah, but I love the song. I love the song, especially what you guys do what you do in the background, the different parts in the background. It just really is.
Right.
It's a great record.
Thank you.
It's a great record. You're welcome.
Thank you.
What young artists do you like out here now? Is there anyone you like to write or produce for?
I like I grew up being a fan of melody and chord changes and just I like melodic music, So anyone that's doing that, I'm interested in collaborating with. I guess would you consider Ed Sheeran young, or anybody?
Kind of, yeah.
Sort of, kind of younger, I guess. I don't know. I don't know. I guess I'm a grown folk kind of music guy, but I can't keep up with the little this and the little that and all that. And I just like melody. I like chord changes, and I feel bridges. I don't want to hate. I don't want to sound too grown, and I don't want to hate on this new generation's music styles and selections. But I don't know. I just I don't hear too much. There are some people doing great things. I hear songs, not artists, I should say.
Okay. Unfortunately, you just marked the anniversary of your mother's death. You have a foundation in her honor. Can you talk about the Dee Dee Jackson Foundation, the Power of Love podcast, and the musical therapy outreach that you do, among other things?
Yes. So the Dee Dee Jackson Foundation is a foundation that my brothers and I started, and we focus on loss and grief, which is very difficult, and we're for everyone, but we also I shouldn't say mainly target, but what my brothers and I went through, we were young adults, and we couldn't really find much information how to heal, how to grieve, and it's obviously death is part of life. And you never really understand it until you go through it. And unfortunately, everyone's going to have to go through some type of loss. So what my brothers and I wanted to do was, in honor of our mother, we wanted to create something where we can help people that are going through these things, not just death, but, loss of maybe they're going through parents getting divorced, or loss of home, loss of job. These are all things that are considered loss. So we wanted to do a podcast. We wanted to have a foundation and help people, children that are going through these things, and help them get back on track.
You and your brothers have been quite vocal and quite passionate about your uncle's legacy, especially recently in response to the HBO documentary. The floor is yours to say whatever you want to say about that.
It's hard to speak about that because it creates anger, it creates a lot of emotion, there's sadness. It's just completely unfair, I think, and I it's almost like you're screaming and no one can hear you. I think there's a lot of things that are happening. They're very unfair, and it's a whole different ball game. But I think it's really unfair what they're doing to my uncle, his legacy. I think it was unfair what they were doing to him while he was here, and now it's his legacy that they're tarnishing, and it's a smear campaign, and it bothers me a lot because everything he's worked for and his whole message was love, and to be to be the type of person that he is and to see what he's getting in return is upsetting. And it's just unfair. And to see the people that jumped on the bandwagon, or the people that jumped on and tried to destroy his legacy is hurtful, you know. And that's people now. It's like, you know, when my uncle passed away, everybody was MJ this, MJ that, and now that, you know, there's some lies going around, no one really, in my eyes, I haven't really seen anybody come up and step up and defend, you know, which is upsetting. And no one fact checked anything. So if you do a little research, you'll see that this is all lies. But it'll never get the push that the negative media put, you know. It won't get the truth. The truth will never be out there like the negative lies were. Does that make sense?
Yes. Thank you for sharing.
That's what's upsetting.
Can we do some fun questions?
Sure.
What song or artist would I be surprised to find on your playlist?
On my playlist? I don't even know if I have a playlist right now. My playlist is all messed up. What? I don't even know how to answer. I don't even know. I have to be honest. I've been listening to my album so much because I've been working on it that's all I've been really listening. But it's done, so now I don't have to. And because I've been listening so much to my album that when I'm not, I let everybody else play what they want to play. Okay. So it's.
What about when you work out? Do you have a list of songs when you work out? What song makes you go hard in the gym when it comes on your list?
I'm really doing terrible at this right now. This sounds horrible, but I don't even want to answer these questions. It sounds terrible, but usually when I'm working out, I'm listening more to my music. It's funny, but I write a lot when I'm working out. Like if I'm jogging, I'm listening to tracks and I'm writing lyrics. Does that sound weird? But that's how I write.
No, like by voice, like you just kind of turn on the voice recorder and just start singing lyrics. I don't
really write my lyrics down. I just hear the track and I start singing and I just put it together. And I just hear it so many times that it just becomes what it becomes. But I'll listen to whatever. I listen to anything.
What's your favorite lyric ever that you've written or someone else has written?
These are tough questions for me. My favorite lyric ever. I don't know, man. You got me on that. Let me come back to that. I got to think about that one. That's a good question now.
First concert where a member of your family was not performing.
Ooh. Where they were not performing. You're asking me some good questions. I would maybe say like maybe Lionel Richie or something. Commodores.
Okay. Oh, wow. You took it back. Do you want your sons to be in entertainment?
In entertainment?
Yes.
I want my sons to do whatever their heart desires and whatever they really want to do, because I believe if they do what I want them to do, they're not going to succeed. I think with children, you have to allow them to dictate what they want to do, because that's where they're going to give their all. My brothers and I were never forced into music. It's something that we loved. It's something that I love. And, you know, as far as the music side, I love it like too much almost. You know, my older brother's more into film, you know, and that's great. You know, there's differences there, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. With my children, One of them, I guess they both do a little bit of modeling and acting. They play sports. I don't know if I ask them often, what do you want to be when you get older? And they don't really know exactly. And that's okay, but I do want them to start thinking about things so they can start working for it, So whatever they want to do, I'll support and I'll be behind, as long as it's something.
Anything else you want to talk about? Your new album? Share about your new album. Can you let everyone know where we can get at you? Your website, your social media platform?
Yeah.
Where we can find the music?
The album's coming out April 21st. It's going to be on all digital, all major digital outlets: iTunes, Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon Music, and there's 10 new songs. 10, when I say new, things that no one's ever heard before, and I'm very proud of the way it turned out. I feel like it's some of my best work up to date, and I worked hard on it, and I hope people enjoy it. I basically wrote from my heart. I did what felt right for me, and music's a form of expression, and yes, it has a Jackson sound because that's what influences me, inspires me, and that's it. I just want people to enjoy it, and I hope people listen to it and smile, and it helps them get through good times and bad times, so that's it.
Where can they follow you?
They can follow me on Instagram. I'm on Instagram a lot. Or they can go to my website, and it has information. But my handle for Twitter, Instagram, I don't do Facebook too much. But all of that is just Taryll Jackson, at Taryll Jackson. It's TARYLLJACKSON.
With all of your experiences, both positive and negative, public and private, my last question for you is, who is Taryll Jackson?
Still figuring that out. I'm still figuring that out. But I do know that I have a lot of love for people. I want to help people. Life is not easy. I'm not perfect. We all have our things. I've definitely had mine. I've shared. I've been open. I've been on TV and shared with people what I've gone through. And I look a certain way, and that's okay. I know I've helped people get through their times. So I'm just trying to figure it out myself. And if I can help people along the way, then that's great and that's wonderful. And I believe I'm doing that. So I'm just going to keep doing what I do.
Taryll Jackson, Grown Folks Music, thank you so much for your time today. We appreciate you, and best of everything with the album.
Thank you.
GrownFolksMusic.com